Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics / Non-Classic. This is episode number 700 and Doubleshot number 604. I had to start this over because I got a phone call. Alright. Alright. I got two. Now, I only reached 600 just 2 months ago, and now I'm at 700. So I wouldn't be surprised where I'm going at. I would probably reach episode 800 probably either by, I'd say September or October at this rate. Could be. I don't know. 2 XMen trades from 2 crossovers to happen in the year 1999 and 2000. This is before Dreams End Eve of Destruction. Of course, I will review Dreams End at some point. Alright, first up it's XMen versus Apocalypse. Volume 1, the 12, collecting Kenny XMen 376, 377, Cable number 73, 76, XMen Volume 2, issues 96, 97, and Wolverine number 145 to 147. Yep. Now, these are the writers for these issues. Now, you're probably like, okay, why in the world would people be on this book for? Okay, we have Eric Larson, who does the Wolverine issues. Yeah, it's surprising that Eric Larson does Wolverine. Rob Liefeld does Cable. Yeah, Cable. We also have other writers, Joe Pruitt, Terry Kavanagh, Alan Davis, and Fabian Nicieza. Alan Davis also one of the artists on here with Lil Francis Yu, Bernard Chang, who is I believe the current one of the, he was a recent artist for Batman Beyond. This was the relaunch, the second volume of Dan Jurgens. Roger Cruz, and Tom Rooney. The cover art here is done by Lou Francis Yu. The cover art here is done by Lou Francis Yu, Rob Liefeld, Bernard Chang, Mike Miller, Adam Kubert, Alan Davis. Yep. Simply put, the whole point of this book is that Apocalypse is kidnapping 12 mutants because he wants to start up his own Page of Apocalypse. Yep. And also, Caliban comes back in here. And plus, also, they also in the storyline, they also have a plot thread that have been going on for Wolverine since the events of Fatal Attractions, when Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine's body. Yeah, the adamantium is put back in his body, but it's taken from Sabretooth. Though Sabretooth does get his own adamantium back in his body thanks to the return of Weapon X, when Rob Liefeld did the whole Wolverine versus Deadpool storyline, which is really good. Yeah. This is by far a really good storyline. And seeing Rob Liefeld do Cable, it's fine. He did create the character, so it kind of does make sense. Yep. XMen. Let's see. What of course, Wolverine done by, of course, let's see. Cable is done by Joe Pruitt. Yeah, he's the one who does the writing for all the Cable issues. By the way, there's about 4 Cable issues in here. Yep. And Joe Pruitt is the writer for all 4 of these issues. Yep. Yep. And the way this works, though, is you have Wolverine 145, then basically a bunch of Cable issues. Yep. Then we have a brief couple pages from X-Man number 59. This is actually toward the end of the series for X-Man. Yeah, from 59. Yeah, the series would end roughly 16 issues later, along with Generation X. Yep. Kenny X-Men is done by Alan Davis. Yep, he is the writer for the book. Yeah, he does pretty much like the 2 and Kenny X-Men issues in here. Yep. That's what he does in here. Let's see. XMen. That one is done by... Well, we also have an issue, well, Eric Larson's basically... Fabian Nicieza co-writes issue 147, but Eric Larson's the one who writes all 3 issues in here. Yep. The X-Men issues, let's see if I can find it here, are done by... Must be one of the other writers. I think it might be Alan Davis might be the 2 writer for the thing. Yeah. But this is by far really, really good. It's by far a really good storyline. And it does end with a cliffhanger, which we'll talk about in a minute, where Apocalypse merges with Cyclops for some reason. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Next up is Volume 2. of X-Men vs. Apocalypse. Now, there is one other trade that's showing. I don't remember if I have reviewed it. I have looked at my channel, but I don't think I have. This is the Ages of Apocalypse. Yeah, the name itself is a nod to Age Apocalypse, which was done about 5 years prior to this story. Yep. Yeah, it only had been 5 years in Age of Apocalypse, and of course, 5 years later, we have the new Age of Apocalypse. Yep. Now we have the book collects X51 or 8, Uncanny X-Men number 378, annual 1999, Cable 77, Wolverine 148, X-Men Limited number 26, X-Men Volume 2 number 98, and X-Men: The Search for Cyclops 1 through 4. Yep. Now, these are the writers for these issues. Carl Bollers, who does the X51 issue. You also have Ben Rabb, a guy who apparently DC doesn't like collecting his work for some reason. Alan Davis, Terry Cavanaugh, Joe Pruitt, Eric Larson, and Joseph Harris. Artwork by Joe Bennett, Anthony Williams, and Adam Kubert, Graham Nolan. Yeah, Batman artist Bernard Chang, Roger Cruz, Brett Booth, Alan Davis, and Tom Rooney. The cover art for the issues in here. Well, the X51 issue is not here because it page fell a while ago. Lou Francis Yu, Brent Booth, Adam Kubert, Andy Kubert, Eric Larson, Alan Davis, Tom Rooney, Michael Rand, Adam Poulin. Now, there are various... Now, pretty much the whole plot thread of this whole thing is that each issue is his own alternate reality. Like, there's one where the X-Men are pretty much this. Yeah, where the original Phase 5 are Storm, Beast, who's more kind of acts like Wolverine, Jean Grey, Gambit, and Iceman, who fights Magneto. Oh yeah, it's basically an alternate take on Uncanny X number 1. Yeah, there's even another issue, I think it's the Wolverine issue, where they had the New Fantastic Four appear in the book, which New Fantastic Four, this is of course a follow-up to issue 350, where the Fantastic Four is replaced by 4 people. Spider-Man, Wolverine, the Dan Ketch Ghost Rider, and the Hulk. Yep, my guess is... Now, in the case of 4 of these, Spider-Man, of course, Wolverine's part of the lineup too. Spider-Man, of course, fills in for Reed Richards. Dan Ketch Ghost Rider fills in for Human Torch. In the case of the Hulk, fills in for the Thing. As in the case of Wolverine, he's just there because, well, it's his book. Though Spider-Man wears a Fantastic Four costume, doesn't wear the actual outfit itself, but it's a really neat story. The annual has really nothing to do with what goes on the main book. It's just basically set in the present day, not doing anything. I'm a little surprised it's doing here, but it's still a really good thing. The Search for Cyclops, which is basically this book leading up to. Basically, Search for Cyclops is just Jean Grey and Cable looking for Cyclops. They do find them, and they free from Apocalypse, and Cable kills Apocalypse. I should point out, though, Apocalypse stays dead for a long period of time. He stays dead for about 6 years. Yeah. That's one thing you guys say about Marvel. It's like they kind of basically get rid of all the really big villains. There's all these little other stories. So they kill Apocalypse, and he stays dead for at least 6 years. He comes back after the events of House of M. Yeah. Of course, after he follows up with that, he comes back in Uncanny X-Force. And after the first Uncanny X-Force, Apocalypse is brought up again. He's resurrected actually about 2 years ago. And there's there. By far, really good storyline. I do recommend it. It's the only trade that actually collects issues from X51. Surprisingly, since after this, the book only lasted for a few more issues before getting canceled. Wolverine would last for 41 more issues before getting relaunched number 1. X-Men Unlimited would last for another 24 issues before getting canceled. X-Men will have, not long after this, basically, I would say within just a few months, Chris Claremont takes over the books briefly for one of the weirdest runs ever in the book. Cable will manage to last for another few years. At least about 30 more issues. About 2.5 more years before the series got canceled and replaced with Soldier X. A series that got canceled, 12 issues, and of course replaced with Cable Deadpool. By far, really great event. I do recommend it. 9.5 out of 10. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode number 701, and hopefully Doubleshot number 605. As when we do for review for it yet, I don't know. I originally was going to, because the way the order my books went, is I was going to review this one for the previous episode, but it would be kind of weird to do 2 trades from 2 books I have nothing to do with for episode 700. So I chose to sort of flop it around by doing the independent books first and then do the X-Men books, because the books I've been reviewing for a while and people know who the X-Men are. So there's that. Otherwise, though, that's really it. Stay tuned for the next, when I get a chance to put up another video. I may get a chance to do another video tonight, just depends. The only video I might do tonight is another review of Boruto. Okay? But until I see you all in my next episode, bye.